episode of The Good Guys Show. I'm Tony, he's Jeremy, and we're here for another hour of mild entertainment.
That's right, Tony. We are here for another. I'm just diligently doing, the necessary work.
You're trying to
make
multitask
this.
while we're starting the show.
Well, it's invaluable that we, as the art aficionados of wine, really. Hey everybody, how you
The fact
doing?
that we're aficionados of anything is
okay. What do we
ridiculous.
got there?
A ridiculous statement.
Okay, all right. So no longer.
I have to go on record as saying I have a very bad cough right now, and if we were professionals, we wouldn't be doing this, but we're not. So here we are.
Right.
So I might break out in bursts of spontaneous phlegm.
Great. No, that's good. I'm
in
sure
the midst of
everyone's.
this,
I'm sure everyone's ecstatic to hear that here
Yeah.
in here.
Oh, it'll be lovely for
It'll be
everybody
great.
involved. Yes.
I would like to go on record as saying I have a mediocre attitude. So yeah, everybody. Yes. So you are. Thanks for. No, you're not tuning in. It's on the TV. Apparently, we've got two amazing time slots.
You're.
For the 4 p.m. and the 1 a.m.
This is a show that you watch not by choice but by accident.
Do they show the wine that connects in the jail systems, Joel? Joel, we have a little special thing going on this.
I'll have to check on that, Jeremy.
Can we? I mean, that's
that would be that probably would double the amount of time. The allotted amount. Like they did an hour, but if they had to watch our show, it's like 2 hours time served.
Really?
I would think. I
Were
mean,
you interested in a conjugal visit, Jeremy, or what?
I don't know. Is that mean intimate? An intimate visit?
An intimate visit, yes. When you're in prison, somebody
Yes.
comes to.
Well, what's the joke? Geez, yeah, three hots and a cot to go to jail. I'd rather go to jail. 3 hots and a cot. 3 meals a day. Did you know? I just learned that apparently it's not humans aren't supposed to do 3 meals a day.
We're supposed to do 5 small meals, right?
I think you're supposed to eat intuitively. I think all this garbage about eat.
I've been on all sorts of crazy diets in my life.
Yeah.
And they're always telling you, you got to eat breakfast, most important meal of the day, boo. You got to make sure you eat,
Right.
now I eat when I'm hungry.
Yeah. And you feel good,
And
right?
I feel fine.
You feel good. Yeah.
I've actually, in the last few years, I've just been losing weight.
Yeah.
So
You look super cute, so
Boy,
it's
thank
good.
you.
It's great. Well, everybody, let's we are an hour-long program, so let's
we're sorry.
hey, listen, you're learning something, we're learning something, we're all here to be
We're
good.
learning we shouldn't be on TV.
I mean, that's good. Listen. I apologize again. So these are, for those of you who've seen the show before, these are a different set of overalls. These are actually, I believe these are still Carhartts from the 80s.
Ooh, vintage.
That's right. These were a gift given to me. I made a comment one time at a guy who had a thrift shop, and they were actually new. Still had the big old paper.
Like they
and
were
stuff.
new old stock.
Yeah. So, and he's like, Jeremy, I just noticed how much you just wanted to love those overalls. And so I haven't worn these, and I got these probably about 12, 13 years ago.
Wow.
And couldn't fit them. I couldn't fit them a couple bits ago. But now, so we're doing well. So, yeah, take
Look
care,
at us
take care of
getting
yourself.
healthy, losing weight.
Being 2 healthy boys. That's gooder
Unbelievable.
guys. All right. Well, speaking of gooder and being gooder,
Yes.
let's jump right in. Let's talk about the art. What's happening in the art world.
You know what? From my research today,
Yeah.
not a hell of a lot.
Well, I mean, the definitely the oil protester guys are getting a lot more stuff going on.
Yeah.
So.
And I thought about them, and I just decided not to look them up because they just make me so angry.
It's very upsetting.
They're so stupid.
It's almost as upsetting as walking down Biddle and having a weird smell all the time.
I
lately.
just read about that on Facebook. Them talking about the weird smell that has been coming up the drains
Yeah.
and is outside,
Yeah.
and I haven't smelt it, so I don't know.
Well, Tony, I've quit. I think I'm gonna. Should I say quit? I've stopped smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
It's been pretty cool, and I don't know if my senses have been upped. Listen, kids, just don't smoke, or
It's bad for you.
smoke or whatever. Who cares?
Who cares what you
if
do?
you're able to, if you're legal age, but don't. It's not good. It's not healthy. Is that what I'm supposed to say, Joel?
What's that, Jeremy?
Is that what I'm supposed to say? I'm supposed to say it's not healthy. Not healthy. I'm not supposed to promote smoking cigarettes, right?
We shouldn't
I
promote
mean,
vices.
Say don't do it. It's bad.
Listen,
don't
none of
smoke.
those kids smoke cigarettes now. They're all smoking
Vaping.
vapes and hitting pens, right?
Vapes and
Right, kids?
vapes and dude, seriously, what you see people and like all of a sudden they're like, and then all of a sudden you look around and they're like sorry about the noise, but this sensitive desk. And like they're like this, like, and then just it's weird. It's just a weird, man. I used to be able to smoke in airplanes, and now I don't know. Anyways, remember
The good old days.
Do you remember smoking?
Remember when doctors would prescribe cigarettes? It was awesome.
Remember? That was like the 50s.
Yeah, I know.
But what about smoking sections? Like, well, were you smoking or non-smoking?
Yeah, remember that?
And
And,
you
like the smoke didn't like the smoke is gonna adhere to these invisible boundaries that you have
It still
created.
stunk. It still
Yeah,
stunk.
it still stunk. The smoke still drifted all over the place.
Yeah. Well,
That was the one thing. If you want to smoke, that's fine. More power to you. Have fun, whatever. But I couldn't stand smoking while I'm eating.
No. It's
I
yeah.
always thought that was really just gross and inconsiderate of people to smoke in a
It
restaurant.
was very. It's like that's.
And
like,
when they stopped that,
it's like
I
a
was
very
real
European
happy.
thing to do. Just like all of a sudden, eat that your drink, and then all of a sudden, sit back and have a little, So,
Yeah.
but
I can vividly remember as a kid just billows of smoke in restaurants.
yeah, fun stuff.
It was when we first moved here to Michigan. I would refer to Wyandotte as my smoky little town because every place we went to,
Huh?
that was just massive amounts of smoke
Were
everywhere.
This
This was 24 years ago.
was New York still? Was New York becoming a non-smoking
New York
city?
was becoming a non-smoking city at the time. Yeah,
Well, look at you, Mr. Ford, Mr. Man.
Mr. Forward Thinking.
Mr.
Now, it
Forward-
wasn't my choice. I mean, the city officials were doing it, but
You know.
lots of places in New York before the government started mandating it.
Right.
Lots of places were not allowing you to smoke indoors.
Or
And I had my father was a smoker,
right.
but when we were real little, he quit for a while, and then he started smoking again. And when he started again, he wouldn't smoke in the house anymore. He wouldn't smoke around us. So
Or how about smoking in the car in the
the
winter
car.
time?
I remember when I was little.
That little
He'd,
slit.
yeah, he'd open the window a little bit and smoke in the car.
You guys shut up back there. All right. Well, speaking of, I think, are we gonna do the Picasso one first? Is that
Yeah, sure, let's do the Picasso one
So
first.
Picasso, avid smoker. He used to smoke a lot of sticks or a lot of cigarettes. And
Picasso strikes me as a Tipperillo guy.
a Tipperillo. What's that?
Those skinny little cigars with the plastic little filter on the
I mean, yeah.
dopey looking
Oh.
things.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that he'd get canceled just on smoking the plastic. Yeah. Hey, do you know that they speak before we get into this show? There was a show. This auction about Picasso. There was a show in England about Picasso, and it was done by I think it was done by I don't know, it was a satirist or a comedian, and like a woman, and she curated the show, and it was like something to do with showing Picasso's true side. It was that old school time where wife's at home, you get the girlfriends, and you're a big fancy painter at 70, so of course you're gonna have 20-year-old girlfriends, so
Of course.
of course. So no, that's not true. We're joking all the time. Okay. I sometimes I feel I have to
Joel, are we still running the disclaimer
Yeah, at the beginning, is there still this?
Well,
We
yeah.
gotta run that disclaimer.
Like or I
Yeah.
want to do a show where we just like get like I can't we get beeps just on random things that we really aren't bad that we're saying, you know?
Take two.
Well,
Tucson.
what's that? Huh? Oh yeah, yeah, right. So if I'm like I went to
Beep.
work. Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. Well, okay, you know what? This is not moving along. This is kind of a weird pace.
Yeah.
Some
We're both of us are just
Well, some might say disjoint. I watched drove 126 miles an hour. Gosh darn U-Haul.
you were you were driving all over the place.
So I planned on putting a nice shirt on today. Maybe having my hair did, but
Get your hair did.
But here we are. Here we are. The tree that they're setting the tree up outside. Chris's Santa's almost here. He'll be here Saturday. Are you excited? Okay, so
Was the parade Saturday?
the parade is Saturday, and Pat Slack, Grand Marshal. There's gonna be
Oh,
Grand Marshals
really?
here. So she gets the Pat Slack way, and now she'll be the Grand Marshal. It's very exciting times at the River's Edge Gallery, and come buy some art. Okay, and framing, and also we're having an event. Even though this is going to air after, we're having the event on the 17th, which is the Friday before the Saturday, which is the tree lighting. And at 7 p.m., we're gonna be doing making crystal. Good guys, actually. Good.
We
guys.
spent an evening
Spent an evening.
making
Whoopee.
yes, we traveled back in time to the 1970s.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's what
we-
ornaments are in Canada. They're whoopies.
They're called whoopies, really?
No, it's not true.
Hey, how'd that macabre show?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The macabre
yeah,
show.
Macabre show.
The macabre. It was good. It was well attended. It was well received. Tony sold some works. I owe this man some money, so don't say anything, because. And but yeah, it was great. It was great show, great turnout, and we'll be doing something. Should I be looking there? We're doing something next year. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to look at the camera, or do I look at Tony? Well, I mean, even though I have to look through bars
I
now.
try to ignore the cameras and just
Yeah.
look at you.
Right.
I look at the booth, even though I can't see Joel. I look at the
Well,
window when
the
I talk to
window.
Joel.
Okay. Well,
So
okay. Well,
See, Tony's got it right. You can look at your close-up camera, which
Uh-huh.
for you, Jeremy, is camera 3.
camera 3.
Or you can just have a conversation with Tony. But what you don't want to do, which you often do,
Yeah.
you look at the monitor because you like to see yourself, you big, glorious ass.
Well, I'm a little sensitive. How am I sitting in my?
he's a very sexy
my
man. If he wants to
shoulders-
admire his
I don't listen.
visage.
Stop. Okay. So So let's. If you're still watching the show,
Yeah, if
let's
you haven't changed the channel yet, we're actually going to talk about art.
let's move on here. So let's talk about the Mr. Pablo Picasso. Tony.
If you could put up that painting, the Picasso. There it is.
Yes, the 1932 painting, Femme à la montre,
Which means
which means like woman. I thought a montre was like
woman with a watch.
Yeah, with a watch. À la montre. See, à la.
I just found it
Okay,
in the
well, there you
article.
go.
So,
That's great. Okay, I'll shut up now.
and this painting was based on Picasso's
Which girl?
mistress,
Yeah, which one? Yeah.
the 17-year-old ballet dancer.
Oh, okay. Yep.
God darn it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The so yeah,
So if you
yeah.
look-
So she's seated. The painting. Damn it! I lost my spot
She's
already.
wearing a watch. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
she's
she's
got
wearing a
on.
watch.
So what's the big deal with the watch there? The gold watch I see.
I think. Well, the painting was painted. They make a point of mentioning the watch in the article, but they don't really talk about it. He
Okay.
did do a painting of his wife also wearing a watch.
Okay.
But this was painted in 1932, so I guess maybe wristwatches were like the fashion or something. I have no idea.
Well, there was something you had them.
People used to always carry pocket watches though, but I don't know when they started wearing them on their
I think
wrists.
probably definitely World War One, or did they start in World War One or World War Two? I'm not sure. Anywho,
So Picasso painted this at a pivotal year in his career.
Okay.
At 50 years old, he had already achieved widespread fame by 1932, but ramped up his ambitions to silence critics who questioned whether he was an artist of the past rather than the future.
huh? That's pretty wild. The fact that Picasso, Picasso, Spanish guy. A lot of people think that he's, sometimes they think he's French because it's where he died. But and also did a lot of things in French as well. A lot of the titles, but it's what you do. Like Femme nue couchée, so like the naked woman sleeping, which sold for $67.5 million at auction 2022. But yeah, but pretty much all of the Cubists. Now here's this for hitting on a lady. Hey, can you have some notoriety and you do cubism, which is what this style of painting is. It's a cubist, and you just you're like, hey, I really like. Does he really need to have like some pretty well?
Does he need a model for that painting?
Does he need a pretty girl?
There's
that,
not, there's no hint of realism
right
at it.
Right.
If he's painting, the woman, maybe she's blonde because he painted her blonde.
Right.
But, you can't tell that from another
right
abstract painting that he's done.
Well, she definitely had to watch. So you see, if you see the piece, so in the Cubist style. So I don't know if that's a breast show. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Obviously sitting there, some sort of red cherry thing with a hat. Now, if you see how the eyes are open and the sort of the shadow and things like that, what Cubism they would do typically, or sort of seemingly, is that they would have like they would like as if make your face like instead of round, have it be 2D instead of 3D, like kind of opening up. So it's like you see the whole thing, so
like you would split a chicken.
Like you would split a chicken. Thank you. Yep, exactly. The cubism. Listen, this is the point of watching the show. It's learning about art.
Right.
And I if you're gonna do art school, that's a good thing. Cubism's a lot like a split chicken.
A lot like split chicken.
A lot like split chicken. Thank you. Okay.
Personally, I'm not really a fan of cubism. I like Picasso's earlier stuff.
There's
his Blue
different
period I think is so much better than this.
Well, that Blue period was like in his early career when he was doing more realism stuff like that.
I like that stuff better.
Well,
I think cubism is like fancy cartoons, and
there's different.
They're not good cartoons.
There's different varieties. There's different styles of cubism was a
movement.
A movement, right? It wasn't necessarily. So, it.
I mean, you know how I feel about most abstract art.
Sure.
Which we'll talk about.
And you still talk to
somebody
me.
else.
So,
yeah. Well,
okay. All right.
Hey, boys.
Some of your stuff I actually
yes.
liked.
Oh.
Yes.
What you think about French artist Toulouse-Lautrec? Huh?
You know what?
Wow.
I like a lot of Toulouse-Lautrec stuff.
Well, yeah, but he was.
He wasn't a cubist.
Yeah, he was.
No.
He was a Montmartre. I mean, he was, part of the. I mean, really, in that whole Moulin Rouge.
He was obsessed with the dancer there.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah.
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 Another interesting fact about him?
Go ahead.
Well, do you know or do you not?
He was a midget.
There
Well,
you
he
go.
was no. He actually.
Tony would say it.
He actually he wasn't a little person, Tony. He was he had like weird things with his legs, like how the legs stopped growing. He was like a normal torso and stuff, but yeah. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
didn't
don't know. That sounds like a midget to me, Jeremy.
Okay, listen, guys. Can you not? I have enough issues with everything and not sponsored by Blue Water. Today's episode sponsored by Blue.
My blue is my favorite flavor.
No, but so I actually #blessed. My mother, when I was 13 years old, my mother took us. My mother's from Wales. Those people don't know. So I'm Canadian. My mother was Welsh. She came to Canada with her mother, and that's where she taught. But and she was a teacher, and when I turned 13, when I graduated elementary school, grade 7, we went on a European trip. We did
For
a
your bar
bus
mitzvah?
tour. No, I'm Canadian. And so basically, yeah. So we got to go to like all the big cities. We did a bus tour and things like that. Yeah. What? And then but so we went to the Moulin Rouge, and we were on such a tight budget that all we could do was we got a salad, and the dressing was like an extra amount of francs.
Was it a
Really?
tossed
So it was a-
salad?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you just got a salad
Yeah.
with no dressing,
Well, because it was extra francs. You know, it was extra money.
extra money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy that they would charge you extra for dressing.
I
on a
never.
salad.
So I learned about salt and pepper on salad. So yeah, it was a top. Yeah, it was mixed green with tomatoes and yeah. Thank you. But but on
Oh,
the
so there was cream on that tossed salad. Just
no,
just so
there
we're
was
clear,
no, there was
I just
no.
wanna
There
be
was
clear.
no cream.
There was
on the
it
tossed
was
salad.
just there's salt, but we couldn't afford cream. It was salt and pepper.
The cream comes after you toss the
Oh
salad.
my god. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say,
We have degraded.
but I don't know what. So, but on the tables, they would still have some of the sketches that Toulouse did. I mean,
Oh, on the actual tables.
on the actual tables. So whether or not they were just prints and they were shellacked on or whatever, but yeah, throughout the whole thing, I mean, he was he was an important artist of the time. He did a lot of the show posters for the Moulin Rouge and things like that. But Absinthe, man.
Now, was he famous in his day?
He was well known throughout that era, but anybody, I think, I mean, I'm assuming anybody who was active in any artistic thing, probably had some infamy or some, some.
I mean,
if you had a
that's
skill.
not entirely true because a lot of artists don't get famous until
Yeah, but
either much later in life or after they die.
but if you're going and you're drinking, you're getting hammered all the time, drinking absinthe, and you're obsessed over can dancers, I don't even know what they're called, whether they do the dress.
Yeah,
of the
can
right,
dances. Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, hey, wasn't that though? That was like part of his mystique, right? Like he was obsessed with that dancer, Jane Avril, and wasn't he kind of a bit of a menace there?
well, yeah, because absinthe, man, he was
He
always
was drunk off his
yeah,
ass and
yeah.
hallucinating.
right, so or whatever, yeah. But probably, he probably got tossed out a few. Oh, jeez, probably got tossed out a few times. So okay, can we just talk
we
about
grow up? Jesus.
Pablo Picasso, for goodness sakes? R.I.P. Well, yeah. So So, anyways, we don't condone Pablo Picasso being like how old?
A misogynist?
45 years old, trying to date.
I think he was older than 45 when he was
No, he
dating
was
17-year-old.
he was 45 when he met her. And,
Oh, was he?
She was 17. Which
Oh, yeah,
is,
45 years old.
That's a big no, but not an uncommon thing that happened with artists or with guys with notoriety.
You also
back
you also
in the
have to
day.
take things, take the times in context too. You
Right.
know, nowadays, this is really despicable.
Yes.
Back then, I'm sure it wasn't something that was
He's like, come on,
not
take,
uncommon.
take my daughter. Come on. What you gonna do?
Well, I mean, how many times did you see young women getting pushed into marriage with wealthy older men because it'd give her a good lifestyle?
I mean, that's what I wish someone would push me into a marriage. The rich,
The
man,
rich older man.
rich person. How about that? Just a rich person. Let's figure it out. Okay. Anyways, moving on, Tony. Come on.
So
let's
moving on
go.
to
Jeez.
since we're talking about abstract art, let's talk about because you mentioned.
is that it? We're done. We're done with the femme à la montre.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Picasso, good for you. Congratulations, you made someone made a ton of beaucoup d'argent, a lot of money, to an anonymous bidder, beat out two other bidders for the painting. So
$139
$139 million.
dollars,
Yeah, so,
which is obscene for that painting, I think.
I mean, it was bought the painting from New York's Pace Gallery in 1968, kept it above the mantle in her Manhattan apartment. So it's been sitting in a Manhattan apartment, yeah, since 1960. Manhattan was not great in the 60s, was it?
Manhattan was spectacular in the '60s. What are you talking about?
What was when? What,
That like Times Square became a real crap hole.
Yeah.
Like in the late '60s, '70s.
Okay.
And then by the late '70s, it was just abandoned buildings and porn theaters until the city got turned around.
Okay.
Before his fall from grace, Rudy Giuliani saved Manhattan. And
Okay.
when he became
I love that Muppet movie.
when he became mayor of New York, he really cleaned up that city
Sure.
and made the deals to bring in the big businesses. I think the first deal was made with like Disney. Disney opened up their first big Disney store
Right.
in Times Square, and then once Disney signed on, all these other businesses came, and it completely changed the landscape of Manhattan.
So basically, what you're saying is, yeah, and also, Picasso and Mr. Giuliani, they're kindred spirits. All right. So there's enough Picasso. It's funny. Yeah, learn Cubism. Check it out. You might like it. You can Google it. Cubism. It's an art movement. Check it out. People still do it too, by the way.
Cubism.
People still do it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, artists still do it. I don't think people, just random people, just
Just people on the street. Just
Hey, what do you?
I feel like painting a flayed face.
Hey, what you want? Hey, Tony, you want to go grab a beer after work? Huh?
Hey, sure.
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I can't. I got to
Oh,
paint some cubism.
I gotta go do it. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Okay. All right.
I finally picked up what you were putting down.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so to keep on the topic of abstract paintings,
Thank you.
you had brought up one Miss Joan Mitchell and the
Yeah.
fact that she had a painting of an evidently a pretty renowned piece
Yes.
coming to auction, which when I started doing the research for it, it turns out the auction is today.
Yep. Okay.
And this piece, which is up on the screen now,
Okay.
is called Sunflower,
Mm-hmm.
and it is estimated to go for $20 to $30 million.
Yep.
And I look at this piece,
I can't. Mm-hmm.
and I see somebody
Mhm.
who cleaned their brushes on a canvas.
Okay.
That's what I see.
Does it give a size of that piece?
No, but I think it's fairly large.
Typically, Joe Mitchell, not to be confused with the great Canadian folk singer
Joni
Mitchell, who is
Mitchell.
also a painter. Joe Mitchell was just a really, really important abstract expressionist when it was a real, male dominant thing. I mean, she was a real important figure, and in fact, I think there is a pretty large scale Joe Mitchell at the DIA. You can go see it. But no, she was.
Does it look anything like this?
Yeah, I think it's a little less, quote unquote, colorful, but still.
She put a little
splatters.
less effort into the one at the DIA.
Dude, there's something. Okay, well, people are gonna be like, oh, these guys good, whatever.
Look, my job is to on the stuff,
Oh.
and Jeremy's
There's a
job
beep,
is to explain why it's relevant and
Gotcha.
good.
Well, this is true. But I mean, I'm not gonna say it's good. Like, look, listen, you don't like it. Listen, I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I do. Listen, I do understand what's going on with football. It's not that. I hate when people say that. Like, well, what's so calm? I don't get it. It's like, either you like it, you don't. The hockey. It's easy. It's just the rule. I'm just saying. I don't care. I don't care. But however, I will gladly hang out with you. Drink some drinky drinks, eat some of the food. I'll bring over something. We'll have a good time. I'll scream at whoever the hell you want me to scream at, and it's gonna be great. I'll go home and no big deal. But however, so what you have to understand about the abstract expressionist movement is that it was important because it was post-war. We were heading into a war, and I think we talked about it before we did the episode where it was kind of real abstract expressionism was kind of an American happening thing, even though it was a lot of it was kind of a seemingly a New York thing, where a lot of European artists were doing.
Pablo, my Picasso, Daddy. I'll holler for a
I
dollar.
knew he was gonna do something stupid. Listen. We've got this
We got
wonderful.
30 minutes to go.
We've got this wonderful young man who's wearing these white contacts. Can you show? Can you just show?
We
would you-
can't have him on screen with that shirt.
No, yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. We
I
can't.
have a hoodie on. I can
No,
put my hoodie
listen. Maybe
Next time, when you're wearing your
When you're wearing a nice
eye
bo-
gougers next time.
Listen, we're gonna get you. So we have to get some gooder guy. We'll get you guys some gooder guy merch, okay?
on. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get you some gooder guy. But no, it is. I can't. Is white. Anyways, so. So but these guys were like, probably they were pushing it, but there was a lot of pretension involved, I'm sure, as well.
Well, there's
you know.
always been pretension involved
Sure.
in the art scene.
Sure, and like, but the fact is that what I appreciate, there's still artists out there that are really doing some beautiful, like realistic work or impressionistic work where there's seemingly there's technique involved. Now, the abstract expression is supposedly, if you see like the artist's whole career, who's an abstract expression, you see their early career of how they drew, they could draw realism, they understood different elements of different styles of work, and there was like a more of a technique involved. And the idea was to become more abstract and more gestural. Expressionist, expressing your blah 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 or whatever onto the blah blah blah. So whatever substrate you decide. So I mean, they were the ones.
You know
doing
what?
it,
I'm sure there is a lot of technique that goes into some abstract
Sure.
impressionism.
Sure.
But Joel, could you pull that picture up one more time?
This would also be,
I do not see a lot of technique here.
well, if you look it down the line in the middle, this is also going to be
It's
probably
t-
known as a
it's-
diptych.
It's probably two canvases put together.
Yeah, I'm with Tony on this
Called
one.
it
I
diptych.
mean,
This looks
Come on.
looks like little kids
yeah,
did
Well,
this.
you
It's
know,
a finger painting.
that's kindergarten splat.
first of all, it's but you're seeing it as this. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna make up excuses, being like, no, you guys don't know what you're talking about. No, that's fine. I mean, I understand, I get it, but who's to say, a lot of parents put their kids' drawings
Well,
on fridges.
I mean, maybe I'm just jealous because my scribbles don't sell for millions of dollars.
Sure,
That's
know.
fair.
sure.
I try to be an illustrator, and I've not achieved the
But-
fame and notoriety
But it's not. But
of
it's not like.
somebody who finger paints on canvas.
But it's not like Joan Mitchell made one piece and like showed up to multiple galleries with it and was like, "Do you like it? Do you like it?" Like I've some artists will want to like be showing in the gallery with one piece. And
Right.
It's like well, it's like
No, you need a body of work.
it's like, hey, can I be a fireman? I watered my garden yesterday.
Yeah.
No, really, no. Look, it's like.
Do you think it's possible, Jeremy, though, an artist gets to a stage where they're like, you know what? I'm established. I've made my money. I'm just gonna prank people now.
I
so
mean-
I'm gonna make this painting that's clearly me just splattering paint, and I'm gonna present it seriously.
I'm
They're just trolling.
gonna-
That's what I think might happen sometimes.
I'm probably going to say that I mean, it's not an unheard thing, but like Pollock kind of got to that place where you are sort of that wind up monkey that hits the symbols, where it's like, hey, we're doing a show, you've got to put on more work, the people want it, and we're necessarily, they'll sober up for a bit, and just pound out a bunch of work in a studio somewhere, and then go show it in some big exhibitions in Europe, and
Well, I mean, for those who don't know, Jackson Pollock became famous for dribbling paint all over these large canvases.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at the beginning he probably took it very seriously and had
Sure.
a game plan for
Right.
what he was doing. But towards the end, as he grew famous and became a bigger drunk,
Right,
I'm sure he was just slopping paint around
right.
just to make money.
But it's like, Yeah, it's a stupid. It's a, this wor- Like I always say, the art world. I love the art world as much as I hate it because because now because we tie finances, money to it, which is good. However, that's not the sole purpose of art is not the commodity part in my world. The sole
Right.
purpose of art is to break the barriers or to I mean whatever however Nancy Pansy I'm gonna sound about like me being all sensitive and stuff, but no, it's good to make a bunch of garbage so that to eventually make something good. And I mean,
Well, I remember, when I first started painting, I was told, you got to paint 1,000 paintings
Mhm.
before you have one that's good.
Right, you always can't sell them all, but you
I
gotta,
think I'm only at like 300 and
well,
something, so
you gotta build,
eventually I'll do a good one.
you gotta build, and but you can't be afraid to burn it. You can't be afraid to, paint over it. It's just how it is. You're not doing the arts is not being in the arts is it's not like a 9 to 5 thing.
No,
it's
it's
a
a
life,
life.
it's a
It's a
lifestyle.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, and also the fact that other abstract impressions like Mark Rothko, de Kooning, other.
See, I have a lot more respect for some of the stuff Rothko did because although it's just color swatches.
Color fields, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was just it's almost as if there was some thought put into it. He spent time on it.
Seeing a Mark Rothko at the Chicago Institute of Arts, I think I've told this story I think on our audio program before, but I went to the Chicago Institute of Arts and I've never been before. This must have been like 15 years ago or something like that. And I saw the red, white, and blue Rothko, which was like red, white, blue on top of like a brown thing. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then all of a sudden I turned around on the half wall in the middle of the room where it was a large, I think it was a pink, yellow, blue, whatever. This large Rothko just struck me, and I stared at it, and I started to cry. So there's some. I mean, you know why? I don't know why, but it evoked something, and his paintings evoked something. He's got a cathedral. He did. I believe in Houston, or the Texas area, where it's all blue, and he did this whole this room, this church, of his paintings, and it's supposed to be kind of a magical place to go to. And yeah, they're just color fields. They're just painting on things, but still makes you feel a thing. And one cool thing about so he had a studio in New York,
Yeah.
and there was this I think this guy commissioned him for a fancy restaurant, and commissioned him to do some of the works, and something happened. I think maybe it was something with the food or something about the guy. Or just, something didn't mesh with Rothko's. But Mark Rothko was getting beaucoup bucks, and Mark that once he learned more about whatever the situation was, whether I think the restaurant or the guy himself, he refused to sell them the paintings. So and we're talking like a decent like a pretty. He's making
Probably a sizable amount of money at
a
that.
very sizable amount of money, and he was like, "No, this guy's I can't forget this, If this is where this is going to be, I think it had something to do with the restaurant and how he's like, if it's going to be in this place, I don't want my artwork in here. So and how many artists do you know? Like like, Tony, hey man, Wendy's. I've got a $25,000 budget for you to put up some of your pieces at Wendy's.
Yeah, they can have what
Yeah.
they want.
There you go. See, but me, only if I could use ginger redhead hair, and all the work. Okay.
So
Yes,
staying
thank
staying
you.
on the abstract theme,
Yes.
Joel, if you could put up the Action Comics
I can't wait to see
image.
this. I can't
No. First, you're going to see the actual comic cover.
Oh,
So
cool.
this is the cover to Action Comics #1,
Is this the very first Superman?
the first Superman.
Okay.
This is a very famous comic book. This is a very famous cover. This cover art is, world known. It's been copied, emulated.
I like the guy with
lots
the
of
tie.
times.
I like the guy with the tie in the frame. Looks really like, oh, something's really happened.
So while I fell down the rabbit hole while searching Joan Mitchell's artwork that was going up for auction, in that same auction,
Okay.
there is a Jean-Michel Basquiat piece
Uh-huh.
called Action Comics 1, where he did his version
Uh-huh.
of that comic book cover.
Okay.
There it is. Now, this looks like a child's drawing.
Sure.
That being said,
Yeah.
I do like it.
Okay.
You know what? I like it too because it's freakish.
It's
Like look at that little creature. It looks like a Fiji mermaid.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he's someone crawling. Yeah. There's oh man.
I should have gotten some pictures of some of Basquiat's other work. I am a fan of Basquiat's.
Yeah,
You
he-
introduced me to him maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he was an important figure. Yeah.
His stuff is odd. It's not, I wouldn't consider him an illustrator, really. He's an artist.
Right.
But this is far from an illustration. But I don't know. He's captured the image in his style.
Right.
It is childlike,
Right.
but it's kind of cool.
Sure. Well, Tony, have I got a surprise for you? Joel, bring out Jean-Michel Basquiat. Ladies and gentlemen, no,
That'd be awesome because he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah,
yes.
we dug him up just
so
for the show.
just for the show.
We got him.
No,
We've got him weekend at Bernie styles.
Well,
Oh man, how awesome would that be?
now that no longer, with the haunted house, Joel, I would assume you had more time to dig up dead bodies. That's great. That's great news. Joel, digging up dead bodies. So just check him out. Yeah.
We got to get a full size dummy, and we can dress them up as different dead artists every week, and throw them out on set.
Yeah, man. You think so?
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. No. So a really cool story that I just read more about Jean-Michel Basquiat is when he met Warhol. So like Jean-Michel Basquiat was getting more. Can we just call him Jean? from this
Jean,
point?
just call him Basquiat.
Basquiat.
JMB.
We'll get sued. I don't know why, but Jean-Michel, what he did was when he met Warhol, he was getting notoriety, he was becoming famous, and he met, he's in New York, and he met Warhol,
Right.
and Warhol invited him over, and they had lunch, and they met, and Warhol was famous for his Polaroids, and he would take Polaroids in his weird way, and people were excited, and it was like, oh, cool, like wow, I have a piece, it's a Polaroid, but whatever. So he did the Polaroid and gave it, did the shaky like Polaroid picture, gave it to Jean-Michel Basquiat as a gift, and immediately Jean ran to his studio, which probably would have taken about an hour to get there, and immediately came back to the factory where that's Warhol's studio,
Right.
and gave Warhol this really cool cool portrait of pretty much his version of the Polaroid portrait, which it was still wet and stuff like that. So it's kind of a famous thing. They just had they just had another show again somewhere.
A Basquiat show?
Jean-Michel and Warhol. I think it was in England.
Oh, yeah.
I think we talked about that a little bit. But yeah, so
They did a play about the two of them,
yeah.
but I don't think it was here. I think it might have been over in England also.
I mean, dude, such an interesting story of if you want to understand a little bit more about the art world and about how kind of crazy it is
And just how different they were also.
and like sort of like how people can like be cultural vultures and want to like be on that fame
The fame train.
the fame train, and or make money off of an artist and like sort of what's that word, poach, not poach, like hover and like they gave Jean-Michel Basquiat like a studio in a basement. I brought this up before, and made him like he was gonna have a show, and here's your studio, and then let us know what you need, get to work, and basically really didn't really leave. Or was kind of stuck there. Oh, you want more heroin? Here you go, pal. And
They just kind of plying him with
Just kinda
drugs and
kept him
booze
there.
and kept him there
make
working.
make more work, yeah. And then it's like, and then probably it was like, oh, by the way, oh, congratulations on the sold out show. You owe us for the rent and for that.
Yeah.
But whatever. Okay, so but that's the thing about that piece, Jean Michel piece. There's no way to put those two pieces up side by side. They're probably not. But
No, I don't think so.
but can you flash one and then flash the other for me? Would that be cool, Joel? Please, if you don't mind. Thanks. Well, that's the original comic book. That was done by neither. Do you know who the artist who did the original comic book was?
Joe Shuster.
Okay, Joe Shuster. So there you go. Well, you gotta give a shout out, man. So there you go. So the Jean-Michel Basquiat, the color use, probably it looks like it was done on canvas. He painted on cardboard. He painted on no. Can you put up the Joan Mitchell as well as that one? This one and the Joan Mitchell. That's what. So I mean, you kind of flip flop with the two of them. It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just.
It
doesn't matter.
Probably 6 months ago, I would have looked at Basquiat's Action Comics 1 and gotten mad about it.
Why is that?
Just for the fact that you're copying this famous.
Hold on, put that
illustration.
back up. Put that Basquiat back up, please. You're gonna get mad. He's like,
just because.
Could you believe it?
Because it goes back to what's his nuts?
Roy Lichtenstein.
Lichtenstein ripping off Russ Heath.
This is
not a ripoff.
This is no ripoff.
This is he did not. But the thing is you're taking, you're taking a famous. It's like if I did, if I painted The Last Supper, I did painting my version of The Last Supper.
Yeah, me too.
Unless you're trying to make a statement.
Yeah.
Which maybe he was trying to make a statement. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a comic book.
You've seen mine, right?
I saw yours.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's funny. It's
funny though. But yours isn't a serious send up.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's you.
Yeah. Shout out JC 2023.
So
Merry happy birthday, bro. No, but it is yeah, it's
I don't know. I just kind of I feel that this country doesn't take comic book artists seriously. They're not looked on as artists.
Okay.
And then you have other people who come and steal their work.
Sure.
And get famous and rich.
Right.
And the lowly comic book artist is left with nothing. Where like Lichtenstein, scumbag, makes millions of dollars, literally stealing this man's artwork.
Well, he had a college degree, and he was able to talk around the importance or the significance of the.
He was an asshole.
But
he was an asshole.
It was pop art, though, right?
It doesn't matter. Where Basquiat drew his version of the cover.
Yes.
Lichtenstein didn't do his version.
No,
he stole the artwork.
Yeah, he stole it, and he just
straight up stole it.
They were silk screens.
So he created nothing, except something to generate money.
Yeah, but I don't.
There is no artistic merit to that piece at all.
Roy Lichtenstein should have given credence to
Russ Heath.
He should have given him a shout. There should have been some sort of friendly, hey pal, like thanks, thanks for all whatever. But yeah. The pop art, but look, have you seen this graffiti artist? I don't know his name. I'm not a fan, but he does the Monopoly guy, and with the Monopoly guy with symbolizing jumping out of with money and stuff in his hand.
I've never seen it.
It's just cheesy, but also Mickey Mouse is just overused by a bunch of artists for to be so I don't know what they're. It's artists. That's what the Pablo Picasso would say, that the good artists copy and great artists steal.
Steal, yeah.
So, you know,
Well, you know what?
I mean, look at.
I'm planning something.
Yes, you are. Have you? Okay, first of all, are you familiar with Pablo Picasso's Guernica about the Spanish War? Guernica. We don't have an image of it, but for those of you
painting?
playing at home,
The painting?
yeah. So
I
there's.
think I've seen it.
Okay, so it's a large black and white canvas painting in Cuba style of it's called Guernica. It's about the Spanish War, and it's a very deep painting. There's a lot of symbolism of death and battle and blood and all that, but it's in black and white, and you know. But now, man, if you go through and you sort of see different artists who do sort of cubism. I mean, that painting has been ripped off multiple times. Like Joe Miro, who's I believe was he Spanish? I think he was Spanish. He's the one that would do. He did sort of this abstracty symbol, like suns and stars, twilights. But again, copied over and over. Jean-Michel Basquiat. I mean, artists, people that can't get their own style. I mean, that's what you do when you start doing art. You find an artist.
I mean, I remember as a kid, I would copy drawings out of a comic book.
Right.
But the difference is, I never tried to sell those drawings as
right.
my own work.
Have you heard?
I just did them to try to learn.
Have you ever had anyone approach anyone in your field, any of your peers approach and be like, "Wow, this is very Ditko-esque," or whatever the I don't know my guys.
Well, when I draw Spider-Man, my version of Spider-Man that I've always admired was the version drawn by John Romita.
Okay.
So when I'm drawing Spider-Man, that's the Spider-Man I'm thinking of, and I'm trying to make my Spider-Man look like his Spider-Man.
See, if you told me John Romita,
I'm not trying to copy his Spider-Man,
right?
But I just want my Spider-Man to echo his.
Well, if you would have told me John Romita, the bongo player, I would have still believed you. No, but that's the thing. But that's the thing, man. People going to the DA.
But
now.
that's completely different. I'm sure there are lots of fine artists who are like inspired by other artists, and when they're creating, that's what they have in mind. But that is not copying somebody else's work. That's being inspired by somebody's work.
Well,
sure. There's a big difference between being inspired by,
but to bring you back to
copying.
But to bring you back to Roy Lichtenstein, but who also I'm not a fan. I really don't care. The guy made some coin, but he flat out did not copy. He made silk screens. He actually made the pieces. He took the smaller scale and he made larger. Silk screens of it, so it was not
by taking the original artwork and
Yeah.
Literally copying it. Literally copying the artwork.
I wouldn't say copy. I would say reuse.
Well,
but yeah, it's.
I say stole.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, Russ Heath died kind of poor too, didn't he?
I don't know how poor he was. I know he was being helped. Well,
they did fundraisers.
I guess
and stuff
yeah, they
for
did
him,
fundraisers for him. Yeah, so I guess he was poor.
Yeah.
And at the end of his life.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, but what? Okay. But the art world still embraced it, right? It's the art world's fault.
Well,
too.
the art world is full of hypocrites and scumbags. So
yeah. Can you hypocrites and scumbags.
So all right, we're almost out of time. If you could, Joel, throw up before restoration one.
Oh.
This painting was recently. Let me get the title of it. It's called "The Death of Cardinal Beaufort."
Okay.
It's from 1789. It was painted by Sir Joshua Reynolds, and the painting was recently cleaned
A long lost fiend was just uncovered during the restoration of an 18th
So,
century painting.
in the process of cleaning it, if you could throw up after Restoration 1, they discovered there was another image that was hidden. And so what had happened was, after the artist's death, the people who were opposed to this figure being in there had it painted over. So there was paint and varnish put on the painting to cover it. If you could do after Restoration 2.
Oh, wow.
So there was this little demon guy
Yeah.
over the head of the cardinal as he's dying. And I guess, that
He looks like he's having a lot of fun dying.
he does look like
I
he's
hope
laughing.
I hope I go like that.
But I found this fascinating that they would change the painting so drastically,
This is
wild. After the fact. And the fact that they were able to get the varnish and paint off of it without destroying it.
Dude, there is some amazing. To be a restoration artist these days is pretty cool. I mean, I would love to go to the DA. Like, those rooms are so they've got filters and really good light and vacuums everywhere and stuff. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Yeah, that's really. So, what was the perhaps isn't a surprise that the demon had receded so far into the shadows of the picture. It appears it was misunderstood by other conservators. So what were they saying? What was the demon's? What was the significance of the demon?
They didn't say the significance. They just
Huh.
I like that the cardinal looks like Santa Claus blitzed out of his mind on opioids.
Speaking of Santa Claus, man, he's gonna be here Saturday, huh?
Hey, yes, Santa
That's
Claus is
good.
coming to town, ladies and gentlemen.
That's good stuff. Obviously, one, that's the first spot that Santa would want to hit. Two,
Yeah, all the bars.
I mean, come on, it's a good place to go. Good place to start there. But I'm a little concerned. Like, who's watching all the elves?
They're on autopilot.
Okay, just
They're busy. This is the busy time of the year.
busy time of year. They're not.
Yeah, they got too much work to do.
No
to
time. No time to
slack
think.
off. Yeah,
No time. No.
They're working.
They're not worried about Pablo Picasso being 45 and trying to
No, not at
have
all.
a 17-year-old mistress. They're not worried about that. They're not worried about people stealing comic book art.
No.
No, they're not. They're not worried about whether or not Joan Mitchell is finger painted or not. They don't care. Hey, have fun Saturday, everybody. Or if you've seen the not yet Saturday, have.
All right, come on.
Okay, fine.
Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram. Good Guys Radio. Email us at goodguysradio@gmail.com with any questions or comments about the show. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, December 9th. Come on down, Rivers Go. December 9th. We got the thing. December 9th.
This will be after, but
No, December 9th.
oh, December 9th.
That's what I
Oh, we're
said.
gonna have some December. Oh, that's right.
That's
God.
right. Actually, we are doing an interview with the two artists December 9th, so you can definitely come on down. We're going to do a live thing there. Well, listen, you can cut the couple beeps out. That'll give us a couple more seconds. So.
That's it. Have fun, everybody. We will catch you next time.
Peace.